Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 brawlers which I believe have fallen off, whether it be the past 4 months, 2 months. With this meta, I just think not enough people talk about these brawlers. So the first one is Colette. So funny enough, Colette was a brawler that a lot of people were talking about, saying, oh yeah, Colette's going to get better, right? All of these brawlers have health buffs. Colette's going to get better. I think that was the most insane copium I've ever seen from Colette mains. Colette has not got better as a result. I mean, theoretically, right, she's going to deal more damage to these brawlers, but in terms of Colette, her interactions will not change at all. It would still be 2 shots and a super double hit to kill brawlers, but with the introduction of since the introduction of the shield gear, it's just not allowed Colette to thrive whatsoever. It's just a fact as well, like her main super only deals what, 10% damage to the high save, which just isn't enough for this meta. There's just far too many brawlers which have just got too many different damage mechanics in the game right now, and it's quite clear, right? That's literally the reason why this is the reason why everyone's got a health buff to begin with, because everybody is just, over the past 2 years, have had a massive like damage buff, or just all these abilities just equal damage. And what does Colette's abilities really do? I don't think they're really as good as many other people's inside of a game. I mean, also defensively as well. I know you got to use a push it star power to really be that good defensively, but I don't think she's that good a defender against a lot of tank counters. It just feels like every single update there's a new brawler with a new hypercharge, with a new buff. Well, it's going to be new buffies now that can just defend tanks so much better than Colette could ever. Like, think of this update. You've got Ems, you've got Spike. You think of previous brawlers with their hype. I'm trying to think, like the last batch. It just feels like every single update there's a tank counter. There's also an assassin that can just deal with Colette, alright. Like, you gotta think she's not that great against assassin brawlers. She's good against tanks, but not assassins. Assassins have been running rampant in the meta. So we are winning this current round, but overall, even if we win this, we're probably just gonna get a draw, because somehow we drew a game in high. So I need someone to activate this last shield before I use my hypercharge super, by the way, or else I'm not going to get the maximum damage. I just need like a crow tickle or something like that. I feel like we're just going to be stuck on defense here. Right, good kill from the kit there. And you know what, I'm just going to pop hypercharge and run up the map. I mean, even if I just use it offensively on this Melody, I mean, my super's not going to do that much damage, but yeah, I think Colette's fallen off a bit. Again, people are just coping. I think she was used like once in the World Finals and she did terribly. I think she's probably a D tier brawler at a stretch, low C tier in the meta. I got star player, but yeah, these guys want the best of players. So I think Colette's completely fallen off. Not enough people talk about her. She's not good, and she's not good since these HP buffs as well. Let's jump into another. Alright, guys, jumping into the second brawler who I believe has fallen off the most within the past 4 months in particular has to be Piper. So Piper, in my previous tier list about a month ago, I really wanted to put into the C tier. I anticipated her just getting worse and worse every single meta, with Nanny getting damage buff like a couple of months ago as well. That really didn't help her case, but I think even more so now than ever, she's just terrible. So the main reason being is because, well, literally the World Finals, she had one pick, I think, out of everything. And you think of Piper, right? She's always predominantly really good in knockout and bounty, normally like the queen of these 2 game modes. Now she's just terrible. The pros just don't like playing Piper because she gets overwhelmed too easily. But now with all of these health buffs, it means that Piper can't no longer 2-tap so many of her counters. So what is the point of picking Piper if other lane brawlers like Cole, Brock, I'm trying to think of others. I don't know if Bell and Byron fall into this category as well, but there's quite a few other snipers, sharpshooters, marksmans that Piper could just easily like go on this lane. Okay, I'm going to tap once, I'm going to click gadget and get a kill instantly. Well, Piper can't really do that anymore, which again just makes me believe that she's completely fallen off. Theoretically, she could be like a D tier brawler in the meta, honestly. I mean, Piper will always be like good against randoms for the most part, because if you still tap in, you won't really feel the biggest of differences most of the time, especially against bad players. But against good players, these interactions matter a lot. So again, although most players won't feel the big nerfs with Piper, I think in pro players should be pretty much non-existent because she hasn't received any types of buffs. I do anticipate maybe some snipers getting a little bit worse, even though like, Piper's got more health, so that's going to theoretically help a sniper in that sense. It doesn't help her because every other brawler also got a buff, so her damage has just been made redundant. other brawlers have received damage buffs over time, and Piper hasn't. She's kind of been left behind in that department. You know, Nanny, for example, literally received a massive damage buff. So yeah, Piper, I think easily at the bottom of C tier here in the meta, maybe even D tier. Let's jump into another. All right, guys, jumping into the next brawler who I believe has fallen off the most in the previous, I'll say 3 months or so, in particular last meta, but it's just been even worse now for Mandy mains right now. I think the only positive, by the way, there's currently a bug in terms of people's vision within the game, so depending whether you're true blue or true red, you get to see more of the map. If you're like one of the other, you get to see less of the map. So I'm finding Mandy in Knockout and Bounty to be either terrible or very OP, but most of the time. So the reason why Mandy is not that good, right, so she's received a couple of like big indirect nerfs over the past few months. So the first one being her hypercharge. Her hypercharge damage, well, everyone's hypercharge damage got a nerf, right? So this means that Mandy just can no longer one-shot brawlers with her hypercharge super, and then pretty much every brawler in the game receives some type of health buff. So again, making it even harder for Mandy to kill people with her super, and that's her whole gimmick, right? To have a really powerful super, she can one-shot so many different brawlers in the game, or at least get close to one-shotting so many different brawlers in the game. And that's what used Mandy for in Knockout and Bounty, but she wasn't used whatsoever in the World Finals. And like I said, she's got even worse now. And I believe they have the range benefit here, because they just seem to be running all over me and my teammates. But here we go, we got super finally, but it's not going to kill anyone. That's the problem here. My super is just not even going to get close to killing anyone. Look at this. Brock has 6,900 health. That is absolutely crazy. And what am I supposed to do against Brock? You know, brawlers like Byron as well just have this absurd amount of health. Hopefully my teammates can clutch up here. If not, I don't really mind, because Mandy is just that bad in the meta. I just don't even care at this point. Yeah, of course my teammate just runs up and dies for no reason. Yeah, I'm just past the point of caring. It's pretty much impossible to win with Mandy, again, unless you get lucky with this range bug. So yeah, for now, Mandy mains have maybe a slight glimmer of hope, because you can snipe people literally off the screen. But yeah, just don't play Mandy. She's just absolutely terrible. I don't know how. I mean, they could, of course, buff her super damage, which they probably will end up doing in the next set balance changes, but that probably won't be for like a month or so in terms of like pure balances. So yeah, Mandy's going to be terrible in this meta for sure. Don't play her, just terrible. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the final brawler we're going to be talking about in terms of brawlers that have completely fallen off. I did miss out on one. I was going to put in Cordelius, but I tried him twice and I just couldn't win no matter what, because with Cordelius, I was going to speak about him a lot, I quickly will. It's because the reason why he's fallen off is because it's not a hypercharge meta, and it wasn't in a previous meta as well, so he wasn't played too much in the World Finals. Also, just so many different lane brawlers are just better than him right now. You think of like Spike, Ruffs is a really tough matchup for Cordelius. You got Ems in terms of tank counters as well. Like, there's some better tank counters out there since Cordelius got nerfed with his super. Just moving slower, it's just making him harder to make work inside of a game. But anyways, let's talk about Darryl. So Darryl, again, has really fallen off. You remember when Darryl got a rework? He was the best brawler in the game, and for a while, as the months have gone on, brawlers has got better mechanics. Again, he's just fallen off. I think that's, well, it's always got to be coming down to his hypercharge, in my opinion. His hypercharge is just so lackluster. You think of so many other assassins and tanks in the game. You just knew for a fact that Darryl was eventually just going to get power creeps, because his hypercharge is just so terrible. It is so bad inside of the game. And again, I think in a way, just what's the word? I can't think of the word. My brain's still fried, guys. I'm just about better. He's good, like, indirectly, that's what I was looking for. Indirectly he's got worse, because assassins indirectly have got worse because brawlers have got tankier. That means that they're able to pounce on the enemies a lot less frequently, or at least get less value, right? Like, you think of Edgar, he wants brawlers to be as squishy as possible, but if every brawler has received a buff, Edgar's theoretically got worse, because he can't finish off people much simpler. So yeah, I'm just finding Darryl real difficult to deal with. I think it goes to show, like, when the pros don't play Darryl in Knockout and Bounty, well, mainly Knockout, you know there's a problem, right? You know that Darryl isn't the greatest in the meta. So maybe it's because his super as well just takes forever to charge up. I think it's just too predictable right now. His kit overall is just not that great. So yeah, and what can I really do here? I mean, They've got Cordelius and a Spike and Knockout. What can I even do? Like my best bet here is to wait for Cordelius to super someone, and then I can get the Mandy. That's about it, because Spike as well has a gadget that deals 6k damage, or probably more actually when you run into him. So yeah, there's not much I can really do here in this matchup, is there? And maybe I can teleport onto... Okay, I was going to try and make a play there on the Mandy. I've got to be patient. But my stats are terrible. I just can't, like, what can I even do in this matchup? I think there was like a couple of moments where I killed the Mandy. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to save onto this hypercharge here, because we should just be able to get a free kill onto the Mandy. That should be it. There we go. And the Cordelius, there's just no way he's going to kill both of us, right? There we go. Beautiful. So somehow we managed to get a win with Darryl there in the end. But yeah, Cordelius definitely has fallen off a lot. I'm not saying that Cordelius is like terrible, but I think he's 100% back in the B tier. I think Darryl could low-key be going down to the D tier again. Like, these brawlers just need some type of love. Thankfully, with both these, you know, brawlers like Darryl, I'm hoping as time goes on, like, Brawl Stars are going to also rework Hypercharge as well, because Darryl's Hypercharge needs a rework. It's absolutely terrible. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comment section below whether I missed out on any brawlers that are just completely falling off, or just nobody talks about anymore. I'm going to be releasing best build videos, tier lists, etc. So just be patient. I'm onto it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.